Have you ever pondered why, throughout centuries, gold has remained a symbol of wealth and prosperity? From the ancient Egyptians to the modern-day billionaires, gold has always been a beacon of opulence and financial stability. It's not just a shiny metal or a precious ornament, it's a pivotal player in the economic history of humanity. Kings have waged wars for it, civilizations have risen and fallen for it, and today, financial enthusiasts analyze and speculate over it. Understanding the economics of gold isn't just a lesson in history. It's a key to deciphering the complexities of our global economy. From its role as a hedge against inflation, to its impact on currency values, gold weaves a fascinating tale that transcends borders and time periods. So, why is gold so important, and what makes it retain its value, even in the face of economic upheavals? Today, we delve into the 5 time-tested gold laws that have withstood the test of time. The first law is the concept of gold as a safe haven asset. Now let's unpack what this means. A safe haven asset is something people turn to for security during times of economic uncertainty. It's like a financial bunker, a place where your money can weather the storm when everything else is in chaos. And gold, my friends, is one of the most famous safe havens in history. But why is gold considered a safe haven? Well, it all boils down to its inherent value. Unlike paper money or digital currencies, gold has intrinsic value. It can't be created or destroyed at the whim of a government. It's rare, it's beautiful, and it's been treasured by civilizations for thousands of years. Let's delve into history for a moment. Consider the Great Depression of the 1930s. As economies crumbled and currencies lost their value, gold stood firm. It was a beacon of stability in a world gone mad. Fast forward to the financial crisis of 2008. While banks were collapsing and stocks were plummeting, gold was calmly holding its ground, even gaining in value. These examples illustrate the enduring power of gold. It's not swayed by political upheavals, economic downturns, or financial crises. It's like the North Star in a dark and stormy night, guiding you safely through the financial wilderness. However, it's important to note that gold is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's more like a lifeboat than a luxury yacht. It won't necessarily make you wealthy overnight, but it can protect your wealth over the long term. It's a form of insurance, a shield against the unpredictable tides of the economy. In essence, gold is a testament to the wisdom of the ages. It's a symbol of stability, a safeguard against uncertainty, and a tangible asset that you can hold in your hand. Its value doesn't depend on the promises of politicians or the performance of companies. It's as solid as, well, gold. This enduring quality of gold makes it an essential part of any smart investor's portfolio. So whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, remember this golden rule. When times get tough, gold gets going. Moving on to the second law, we come across the gold standard. A term that may sound archaic to some, but it's this very system that underpinned the global economy for centuries. The gold standard, in essence, is a monetary system, where a country's currency, or paper money, has a value directly linked to gold. So, why was this system so globally accepted? Well, it all boils down to stability. When the value of a currency is tied to a fixed amount of gold, it prevents governments from simply printing more money and causing inflation. This means that under the gold standard, the economic health of a nation was as good as the amount of gold it held. Let's take a step back in history to understand its significance. Back in the 19th century, the gold standard was the world's primary exchange system. It was a time of economic stability and growth. Many of the world's major economies, including the United States and Great Britain, adopted the gold standard and enjoyed periods of significant prosperity. However, the gold standard wasn't without its pitfalls. It gave rise to certain economic constraints, limiting the flexibility of governments to respond to financial crises. It's because of these limitations that most nations, including the United States, abandoned the gold standard during the 20th century. Today, we live in an era of fiat currencies, where the value of money is not backed by any physical commodity. It's backed by the trust and confidence we place in the government issuing it. While this system has its own set of challenges, it provides governments the flexibility to manage their economies more effectively. Despite its discontinuation, the gold standard continues to be a subject of debates among financial experts. Some argue for its return, citing the financial discipline it imposes, while others caution against its rigid constraints. Regardless of where one stands in this ongoing debate, the historical significance of the gold standard and its impact on the world economy remains indisputable. The third law introduces us to the relationship between gold and inflation. Now, what is inflation? Simply put, it's the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services is rising, and subsequently, purchasing power is falling. It's like a shadow that looms over our economy, quietly eroding the value of our money. But here's where gold steals the limelight. Gold, ladies and gentlemen, is often seen as a hedge against inflation. When the cost of living increases, when your everyday groceries start to burn a hole in your pocket, that's when gold steps up to the plate. Let's take a step back in history to the 70s. During this decade, the world saw some of the highest inflation rates. And what happened to gold? The price soared. In the early 70s, an ounce of gold was priced at around $40. By the end of the decade, it had skyrocketed to over $800. That's a staggering 20-fold increase in just 10 years. Fast forward to the financial crisis of 2008. Again, we saw high inflation rates, and again gold prices rose. In fact, in the 3 years following the crisis, the price of gold nearly doubled. It's almost like gold and inflation are dancers, locked in a waltz, with gold always leading the way. But why does this happen? You see, as inflation increases, the value of the currency decreases. And as the currency loses its purchasing power, people turn to gold. They buy gold as a safety net, as a way to preserve their wealth. And as demand for gold increases, so does its price. This inverse correlation between gold and inflation makes it a vital asset in preserving wealth. It's like a shining beacon in the foggy world of economics, guiding us through the ups and downs of inflation. So remember, when the cost of living starts to climb, gold might just be your best climbing buddy. The fourth law delves into gold's impact on the value of a currency. This is a fascinating topic, as it showcases how the shimmering allure of gold weaves its magic not just as a coveted object of desire, but also as a robust pillar of an economy's financial strength. So, how does gold influence a currency's value? Well, it's rather simple. You see, when a country has substantial gold reserves, it instills a sense of confidence in its economic stability, thereby strengthening its currency. Gold reserves act as a kind of financial safety net, a buffer that can be used in times of economic crises. Let's take a look at some examples. Countries like the United States and Germany, which boast some of the largest gold reserves in the world, also happen to have some of the strongest currencies. This is no mere coincidence, but a testament to the power of gold and its enduring influence on economic stability. On the flip side, countries that lack substantial gold reserves often find their currencies subject to volatility, leading to economic instability. This highlights the importance of gold in maintaining a stable currency and, by extension, a robust economy. In conclusion, the fourth law of gold underscores the significance of gold reserves in bolstering a country's currency. This law reveals how gold continues to play a vital role in the global financial system. Finally, the fifth law highlights the dynamics of gold demand and supply. It's a fundamental concept not just for gold, but for any market commodity. The ebb and flow of demand and supply can significantly influence the price of gold. Let's start with demand. Gold demand isn't just about people wanting to make jewelry or fill their vaults with shiny bars. It's also about industrial applications, monetary reserves, and investment purposes. When demand increases, whether due to economic instability or increased industrial use, the price of gold tends to rise. On the flip side, there's supply. Gold supply primarily comes from mining operations, but it's not as simple as digging up more gold when demand is high. Gold is a finite resource, and mining is an expensive and time-consuming process. Therefore, a sudden spike in demand often can't be immediately met with increased supply, and this can cause prices to soar. Central bank activities also play a key role. They hold vast reserves of gold, and their buying or selling activities can significantly impact the global supply. For instance, if central banks start selling their gold reserves, this can increase the supply and potentially lower the price. And finally, we have consumer demand, which is influenced by factors like wealth, cultural affinity for gold, and expectations about future values. Understanding this law is crucial for anyone interested in gold investments. It's not just about knowing the current price, but understanding the forces that drive that price. To sum up the golden laws, let's take a quick journey back through the nuggets of wisdom we've unearthed. We began with Gold Law 1, recognizing gold as a safe haven, a steadfast beacon in the stormy seas of financial uncertainty. Then we delved into the gold standard, understanding how this precious metal once served as the bedrock of our economic system. Next, we explored the relationship between gold and inflation, appreciating the protective shield gold provides against the silent thief of purchasing power. We then navigated the connection between gold and currency value, highlighting gold's role as a barometer of economic health. Finally, we grappled with the dynamics of gold demand and supply, deciphering how these forces interact to shape the market landscape. These timeless laws of gold not only illuminate its past significance but also shed light on its enduring relevance in our modern economy. Remember, knowledge is wealth, and understanding these laws equips us to navigate the golden age of prosperity with confidence.